Good morning and happy Sunday. I want to talk a little bit about social media. I'm a heavy social media user. I use social media probably far too much than I need to. I love to connect with people. I love to talk with people. It's difficult to make friends. It's difficult to I don't know, get my feelings out across in a real life situation. I feel like a lot of times people are not very nice or they're not very friendly. And it's just easier for me to talk on social media. And I think a lot of us are that way. Those of us that are shy, those of us that may have anxiety or depression, use social media because it's an outlet. And it's an incredible thing. At least for me. I mean, I know that I've connected with so many people and reconnected with old friends and family. And it's been great. It's been incredible. It's incredible to share my writing with people. Because, again, I didn't think that people would respond the way they did, so I was definitely very, very surprised. It's helped me to reconnect with people in real life. I was able to go back home, plan my trip, and it's wonderful. But there's also another side of social media. I have allergies, so there's another side of social media that I don't like. There's like an addictive portion, and I have a very addictive personality. I always have. And I find myself using social media way more than I'd like to. And I find myself putting too much weight into getting likes or getting comments or getting messages. And I find myself frustrated. And I think I think it stems from loneliness. When you're extremely lonely, you want to connect with people. I know with my old job, I was lonely. I had no one to talk to. So I would just go on Facebook all day and just hope for a little notification because I was so frustrated. And so, I don't know, I felt pushed aside. I felt like I was just miserable. I was like, I got no one to talk to and it sucks. And I'm overstimulated and I'm exhausted from being here. And anything to sort of escape the drudgery of having to be at work. The other thing is, I think there's a lot of envy. I envy people. I don't envy the things that people have. Excuse me. I don't envy the things that people have. It's more like the relationships that people have. Having a partner or having a wife or having a family. The things I don't have, and I think, I'm sort of envious of that. I'm happy for people, but there's a part of me that's envious because I'd like those things. Or jobs, I mean, even in real life, if I'm at like a social event and people are talking about their jobs, I always feel very sort of inferior, and I kind of just slide in my chair, and I just feel like there's this sense that like people think they're better than you because that they may have a better job than you, and it's sort of magnified on social media. You see people traveling, and that's another thing. Traveling for me is very difficult. I have health issues, so traveling is extremely difficult for me. Even if I had the money, which I don't, traveling is difficult. There's so many things that I'd like to do that I can't do. But, back to the job. So yeah, I find myself feeling envy. And the other thing I also feel envious of is how I notice that people don't use social media as much as I do. Sometimes I compare myself. I was like, oh, this person doesn't post much and I post all the time, and maybe I'm annoying people, or maybe they don't like me, or maybe I in the past I went through that in my head. And I thought, oh, well, these people don't like me, or that person doesn't like me, and I don't do that anymore, but it's total bullshit. Absolute bullshit, because The thing about social media that I find interesting is that sometimes the people that talk to you the most on social media may not be there for you in a real life situation. And the people who will be there for you don't interact with you at all on social media. It's a strange irony. So, and a lot of it I know is like a highlight reel. Like, a lot of it's not real. You know, like people only show the best parts of themselves. They don't show the days where they're depressed, or the days where they're frustrated, or maybe the days when their kid tore up the house, or they fought with their spouse or their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. And it's all a farce in a certain sense. And I guess I have the problem of sharing too much personal information, or being too honest. And that's an issue for me. So I'm working on using social media a little bit more appropriately, I guess you could say. And we all are on our own journey. I'm not you and you're not me. And I think that you just have to do whatever you got to do, and not focus on other people, because I think at the end of the day, like, you know, nobody really truly cares about how much you post or what you post, you know, because we're all focused on ourselves, which is pretty narcissistic. So I think, I don't know, I think I just struggle with social media. And I was talking to the lady from the disabled ministry, and I was telling her about social media, and she says, yeah, you know, at the end of the day, we're all by ourselves anyway. We're all in front of a screen. We're all lonely. So remember that. And it's all perspective. Somebody could be looking at me who's struggling, really struggling, and saying, he's doing great, but you don't see the days where I'm depressed. You don't see the days where I'm anxious. You don't see the days where I'm crying. You don't see the days where I feel like nobody cares. You don't see those days. I'll write about it sometimes, but you don't see it. This is me right now. And there are days where I cry. There are days where I feel like nobody loves me, and I'm all alone. And this is me being real right now. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks.